the Comets are urging their home team on. Nice crowd of over 200 people here this afternoon. As I mentioned earlier, it's Fleet Week in the Bay Area. The Blue Angels flying across. A lot of military personnel in San Francisco. Beautiful day for football here on the campus of Contra Costa. Here's the opening kick by the freshman Lee. That's Mills with it. And he will start off over the left side and have an awesome return as he was dragged down at the 47-yard line. So Lee, the freshman, was able to return left. Was able to get to the 47-yard line, and that's where the Jaguars will pick up, actually on the 45-yard line. So their first possession of the third quarter will start on the 45-yard line. Starting quarterback, Joseph Catano, who was injured earlier, has not made his way back onto the field, and I'm speaking of San Jose City College. So fakes the fly sweep, hands off to number 23, and he rumbles over the right side. I'm sorry, that's Fred Wilson, number 26. For a gain of 4. So second down and 6 at their own 49-yard line. As George Landeros has done an outstanding job to come right off the bench. He's been in the middle of all the touchdowns anyway, scoring one himself on a keeper in the start of the end of the second quarter. Fly sweep to the freshman, number 1, that's Kurt Augustus, and that will be close to a first down, and it is a first down. So the Jaguars come out with a fly sweep to the freshman Augustus, and he was able to rumble over the right side for a first down. It's a great start so far, and all this is a byproduct of the kickoff return. Fred Wilson was able to rumble over the left side and start the offense on the 45-yard line, on their own 45-yard line, and 2 plays later, they're across midfield on the logo of Contra Costa. Handoff of the left side, short gain to Landeros, who's been typically lining up under center. So they ran a run gun, and he was able to go to the left side. We're talking about number 23. That's Devon Johnson, running back freshman, Overveld High School in San Jose, California, for a gain of 3. So second down and 7, 42-yard line of Contra Costa. Contra Costa trails the visiting Jaguars 17-0 early in the third quarter. 12:50 remaining, third quarter. Landeros under the center, steps up, fakes the pass, brings it down, and the pass was intended to number 87. That's Matthew Falcon, who's had a couple of catches earlier this afternoon. Nice pressure by Contra Costa, was able to come up the field. They have a penalty on the field as well. Let's see what the referee, Steve Carter, has to say. And it looks as though Jaguars are walking back, so a personal foul, chop block against the Jaguars. So that pushes them back 10 yards. It's actually a 15-yard personal foul penalty, so it's second down and long. Second and 23, they're back on their own 43-yard line of the Jaguars. 3 receiver set for Landeros, the quarterback. Landeros back to pass, sets up a screen. That's Wilson, and he'll be dragged down. That's Fred Wilson. So Contra Costa did a great job of recognizing the screen He was able to corral Wilson for a short gain. And that was Anthony Franks on the tackle. Franks, a sophomore out of Pittsburgh High School, Pittsburgh, California. Third down and long, so a once promising drive. Contra Costa has an opportunity to get their defense off the field and prevent another score and try to get a score themselves to get right back in this football game as they trail by 17, 11:55 remaining in the third quarter. Third down, 21. Contra Costa. Landros back to pass. Sets up another screen. He's chased out of the pocket. Landros uses his legs. Penalty flag down. Landros throws it across his field and is intercepted. Picked off, but he will be called out of bounds. Ill-advised pass for Landeros. That pass was picked off by Alexander Watley, but that will be all for 9 as Landeros stepped out of bounds, but also we have a penalty on the play as well. So 2 consecutive penalties for, looks as though it's against the Jaguars, and I'm sure Contra Costa will decline this penalty because they want to get the football back. It will be 4th down and long if they decline the penalty, but looks as though they're pushing them back. But let's see if Contra Costa decides to decline the penalty. So indeed, it will be 4th down. Contra Costa will be getting the football back. It's Tavion Baker, the punter, sophomore from Milpitas, one of the 8 lone sophomores on this team, will be playing off. And Kyrie Jackson will be back deep. It's an opportunity for the Comets of Contra Costa to get into field position here. Try to get their offense started. Try to have a better start of the second half. Down by 17. Here's the punt. Jackson moves away and picked up by number 1. That's DeFronte Daniels, and Daniels rumbles over in midfield. So as the punt landed, Daniels, the up back, decided to pick it up. Was able to get some positive yards. Everything is in. See, Daniels there decided to pick it up and had a nice game. Contra Costa will start at midfield on the logo. So 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line for the Comets. Lead, a freshman, back in the game at quarterback. Sends a man in motion, fakes a fly sweep, hands the ball off to Kidd. The Kidd will go over the left side for a short gain of around 4. So it will be 2nd down and 6. As Contra Costa moves into Jaguar territory, trailing by 17. 11:03 remaining in the third quarter of the game. 2nd and 6. 46-yard line. Comets have an opportunity to get on the board, have a positive drive. Sends Jackson in motion. There's a fly sweep again. And that was to Kyrie Jackson going right to left. That was a short gain off the fly sweep. So 3rd down, and I would say around 4 or 5. Ball is on the 44-yard line of San Jose City. So I'm sure this is 4 down territory for the Comets. 3 receiver set. Jackson at the bottom of the screen. Lee. Pitch and catch to Kidd, and he will be brought down for a short loss. So now it's 4th down. Decisions need to be made here. Are they going to punt or are they going to keep the offense on the field? It looks like there's some indecision on the sidelines right now. So it will be 4th down And the Comets will be punting. So 17 seconds on the play clock. Contra Costa rumbles out to the field. Kyle Jarvis, left-footed punter, kicking it to the freshman, Keontae Bellamy. Jarvis to Bellamy. Bellamy decides to let it go, and it bounces into the end zone, so it'll be touchback. So on that touchback, we'll take a timeout. We'll be back to Contra Costa. Comets trail the Jaguars 17-0. Bears Sports TV. Welcome back to San Pablo, Contra Costa. We have a false start by the freshman, Kurt Augustus. So that will push back the Jaguars 5. So the Jaguars will start their second possession of the third quarter on their own 15-yard line. 17-0, 9:43 remaining in the third quarter. Comets trail the visiting Jaguars of San Jose. 3 receivers set for Landeros, the quarterback, under center. Landeros, hands off, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, and he will be ran out of bounds. So it was a design run for Landeros, who's done a great job all afternoon long using his legs, shedding blockers, getting out of harm's way throughout the afternoon. That was a fake dive. Landeros decided to keep it, head over the right side for a short gain. So 2nd down and 9 for the Jaguars. Comfortable lead, 17-0 on this beautiful day here in San Pablo, California. Landeros hands the ball off. That's to Wilson over the left side, and he'll be dragged down for a couple as well. Actually, that's to Dante Mills. One of his few carries this afternoon. Mills came into the game. 14 rushes, 53 yards, no touchdowns. The workhorse is Fred Wilson, 41 rushes, 174 total yards this season with 1 touchdown. Averages 4 yards per carry. So as we mentioned earlier, Joseph Catano, starting quarterback, number 7, was injured earlier in the game on a sack, and he has not returned. 3rd down, Landeros is flushed out of pocket. He was drilled and got rid of it just in time, but that pass was incomplete, and he was drilled by, there's that man again, Javon Kitchen, linebacker, sophomore out of St. Mary's High School in Berkeley, California, came with the heat. And that'll be a 3-and-out for the Jaguars and a penalty as well. So we'll see what this penalty is all about. Intentional grounding. That's the 2nd grounding of the game for Landeros.
Loss of down.
So that will be a loss of down, and the ball will be placed where the penalty was thrown at. So again, that's Landeros' 2nd intentional grounding this afternoon. And the Jaguars will have to punt deep in their own territory. That's Xavier Wilkins. You mentioned the punter. And it's Jackson with it, retreats backwards and runs into his own man, stays up. There's a face mask. I see a face mask going to come on that play, but Tyree Jackson ran into his own man trying to make something happen. As you can see here, Jackson gets it. Boy's the first man, runs into his own man there, and there is the face mask. That's by Oliver Toure. So they'll tack on 15 yards. So again, here's an opportunity for the Comets of Contra Costa as they will be taking over in Jaguar territory, down by 17, 8:27 remaining in the third quarter. Ideal opportunity now for the Comets to come away with some points on the board to get right back in this football game. They get a touchdown here. Now they are back in the game. Now they have their confidence. Because remember, both teams are coming in with no wins this season, so both teams are lacking confidence in regards to winning at this point. So this will be a great opportunity for the Comets to get some points on the board. We're not speaking about a field goal. We're talking about a touchdown here to get right back in this football game. Their home crowd urging them on all afternoon long.
Number 3, face mask. That penalty be assessed from the end of the kick, 15-yard penalty, first down, Contra Costa.
So the face mask was on number 3, Daniel Mamond, sophomore at Heritage, Brentwood, California. So 3 receivers set. Tyree Jackson, the bottom of the screen. Kidd to the right of Lee. Lee hands the ball off. The Kidd over the left runs into his own man, keeps his feet churning, and he'll be dragged down, thrown out of bounds. A nice job by Kidd. Attacked the hole. He was dragged down. There's Kidd here. Here's a handoff. Has some daylight, runs into his own man, and was dragged down by number 22. That's Xavier Wilkins. Arguably the best drive of the day for Contra Costa. Second down and 3 at their own 27, at the 27-yard line. There's a quick pitch to Kidd on the left side. He got some daylight, and he will be dragged down. But there is a penalty marker on the play, and that usually indicates some sort of holding. We'll see what the referee, Steve Carter, has to say. It's coming from the line judge. That usually indicates some sort of offsides or holding. And indeed it is.
On the offense, number 15.
It's holding on number 15.
For the previous spot.
That's Cal Jarvis, the tight end. Double duty as a punter as well. He was called for the hold, and that will push back that nice gain. So now it will be second down and long for the Comets. So they went from second and short to second and long. They're on the Jaguars' 37-yard line. Lee in the gun. Lee rolls to his right. Has a man, throws it, tipped at the line of scrimmage, caught. So the first deflection, but Jackson was able to make the catch. You see here, Lee rolls to his right, throws it, deflected, and Jackson had the presence of mind to keep his feet inside, toe tapped for the first down. So sometimes you have to be lucky. And Jackson did a great job of concentrating to haul that in. First and 10 at the 21-yard line. Lee hands off to Kidd. He'll be dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. That's a short loss. The Jaguars did a great job of reading that run-pass option. So it will be second down and long, second and 13. At the 24-yard line of the visiting San Jose Jaguars. Comets trail by 17, 6:24 remaining in the third quarter. Jaguars 17, Comets 0. Lee in the gun. He has Robinson to his left, 3 receivers set. Flanks out Robinson. Lee, quick screen. Robinson. So they ran that play with success earlier in the first quarter as Robinson was able to scamper down the right sideline for a nice 40-yard gain, but the Jaguars was able to snuffed that play out. They've seen that play, and they was well prepared to stop that play. So now you're speaking of 3rd down and 12 at the 23-yard line. I'm sure this is 4-down territory here for the Comets. They have to come away with some points, preferably a touchdown. Robinson to the right of Lee. Lee rolls to his right, throws it to the end zone, and it's incomplete, but there's a flag down as well. So we may have a flag here. It's thrown by the line judgment. So it looks as though it's some sort of offensive penalty, but we'll see what Steve Carter has to say. And he's been busy all afternoon long, particularly here in the 3rd quarter. So it is against Contra Costa. So to talk to the coaching staff of San Jose, and it looks as though they're going to decline that penalty. And as a result of that,
holding on the offense, number 72.
So it's holding.
That penalty will be declined
On number 72. Incomplete pass, so it'll be 4th down. And Contra Costa keeps their offense on the field. So 4th down and 12 at the Jaguars' 23-yard line, trailing by 17, 5:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter. So as I mentioned earlier, this looks as though this would be 4-down territory. There's 4 receivers, 3 to the right. Robinson moves to the left of Lee. Lee receives a snap, throws it to the end zone, and it is caught and complete. So 1st down, pass was complete to Kyrie Jackson. See here, Lee receives the snap. Jaguars bring a blitz, and Jackson was able to find a soft spot and was able to haul that in to keep the drive alive. So 5:06 remaining. Contra Costa does have an opportunity to get it into the end zone. It will be 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. 3 receivers. Robinson to the right of Lee. And it will be a timeout on the field.
That's their first charge.
So Contra Costa takes a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. Comets trail 17-0 here on Bay Area Sports TV. Welcome back to the campus of Contra Costa here in San Pablo, California. Fleet Week in the Bay Area. Contra Costa 1st and goal at their own 6-yard line. I'm sorry, at Contra Costa's, at the Jaguars' 6-yard line. 1st and goal. 2 receivers set, split to the right. Robinson to the right. 2 tight ends. Hand off to Robinson over the left side. Bangs down for a short gain. So it will be 2nd down and goal inside the 5-yard line. So again, this is an opportunity for the Comets to get into the end zone and get right back in this football game, trailing by 17, 4:24 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Again,
2nd and goal is at 4.
Split right, both receivers. Robinson hands off again to the left side, and he will be dragged down for no gain. So 3rd down and goal. Robinson, remember, in the second quarter, on their side of the field, fumbled, and that's what San Jose was able to go in for the keeper by Landeros to go up 17-0. Third down and 3. There's another penalty on the field. So some type of interaction went on prior to the referee putting the ball down. And to see what the referee has to say as he's going over to talk to the head coach of the Jaguars of San Jose City. So we'll see what the penalty is.
To the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 22, San Jose. That's its first unsportsmanlike conduct of the contest. Penalty is assessed half the distance to the goal.
So a personal foul by number 22. That's Xavier Wilkins. Half the distance to the goal. So third down and goal inside the 2-yard line. Lee in the gun. Robinson to his left. Bad snap. Lee retrieves it, and he will be dragged down at the 30-yard line. So just a disastrous play for Contra Costa. Bad snap. And what promises to be a great opportunity to score has pretty much taken the wind out of the sails for Contra Costa. When you go from third and goal inside the 2 to fourth down and 25. So fourth and goal at the 25, and Contra Costa trails by 17. What a disastrous play for Contra Costa. A bad snap. And there's another timeout. And so a timeout on the field for San Jose. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back to San Pablo right after this. Well, we're back at San Pablo on the campus of Contra Costa, and I'm sure that you don't really have any fourth down and 25 plays in this situation here, but Contra Costa, with their best opportunity to score all afternoon long, was third down inside of the 2-yard line, third and goal inside of the 2-yard line, and a bad snap over the head of the quarterback, Riley Lee, and he was able to retrieve it at the Jaguars' 25-yard line. So now it will be fourth down and goal at the 25-yard line. And this was all on the heels of a unsportsmanlike play on San Jose. Number 22 was Xavier Wilkins, but on a key fourth down, Lee was able to hit Kyrie Jackson, was able to get inside the 10-yard line to keep the sticks moving and give Contra Costa their best opportunity to score all afternoon long. It came down to third down and goal inside of the 2-yard line. Then a bad snap pushed Contra Costa back to the 25. So that's where we stand, fourth and 25, but waiting for the referee, Steve Carter. There's some discussion on the field between both teams as the coaching staff of Contra Costa is on the field talking to the head referee. But I tell you what, I'm sure San Jose City College is taking a deep breath with that, because they had their backs to the wall. That's just as good as a turnover. They're able to come away here with no points. Pretty much took the wind out of the sails for the Comets of Contra Costa. 2:52 remaining in the third quarter, trailing by 17 to the visiting Jaguars.
Next week, when the Deanza College invade Comet Stadium.
Next week, we'll be back here. Bay Area Sports TV will be back on the campus of Contra Costa as Deanza will make its way.
There's a correction to what down number should be the proper down. After the unsportsmanlike penalty, it should have been
Contra Costa as well. So it will be second and goal.
Play.
So the referees had to get
We have second down, Contra Costa.
The referees had to sort out the down and distance here, but it will be second down as the personal foul that was called. He failed to mention that was an automatic first down, so it went from should have been first and goal at the 2-yard line, but now it's second and goal at the 25-yard line. Lee rolls to his right. Lee looks, throws it down, and it's completed to his big tight end. That's Kyle Jarvis with the completion. See here, Lee rolling out to his right. Picks out Jarvis, and Jarvis able to get inside of the 20-yard line, so it will be third down and goal at the 13-yard line. Lee, back to pass, throws in the end zone, incomplete. Was targeting Kyrie Jackson. So it will be another penalty on the play, it looks like. No penalty on the play. Yes, it is a penalty on the play, I'm sorry. We'll see what the penalty says. It looks as though it is on offense. So we'll...
Illegal formation.
So illegal formation.
That penalty's been declined.
The penalty is declined. So the results of the play is fourth down. So it will be fourth and goal for Contra Costa at the Jaguars' 13-yard line. So fourth down and goal at the 13-yard line. The Comets trail 17-0, and timeout on the field for Contra Costa. It's their second timeout of this half. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back to San Pablo right after this. I can't hear. There's no... It's not on. So welcome back to San Pablo. As the Comets will regain fourth and goal at the 12-yard line. Lee in the gun. Two receivers set. Lee fakes the handoff, throws it to the end zone, and it should be interference. And it will be interference as the pass was intended to tight end Kyle Jarvis. So they faked the inside handoff. And Jarvis was interfered with in the end zone, so that will be a first down. You can see here.
Defense, number 22.
Number 22.
Penalty occurred in the end zone. Ball will be
This Xavier Wilkins
automatic first down.
was there prior to the pass. So the penalty happened in the end zone. And so it will be 1st and goal again for Contra Costa. 2:08 remaining in the third quarter, trailing by 17. Lee, 2 receivers set. Robinson to his left. Hands the ball off to Robinson over the right side, and he will be dragged down short. And that's Gabriel Fernandez with the tackle, defensive back, and it looks as though Robinson's kind of shaken up on the play. So coming into the game will be Samuel Allen taking Robinson's place. Allen, this is his first time checking into the game this afternoon. He'll line up to the left of Lee. Jackson, bottom of the screen. Handoff inside. Touchdown, Contra Costa. First touchdown of the game. That's Samuel Allen's going over the right side, having the first touchdown of the game. So Contra Costa gets on the board. Their first touchdown this afternoon. The first touchdown in 6 quarters for Contra Costa. Now they're depending on the extra point. 17-6. Samuel Allen just checked into the game. The 2-yard plunge over the right side. Extra point. It's down fake. And it will be a 2-point conversion for Contra Costa. A little trickeration here. That's Jalen Phelps, defensive back, with the fake field goal, fakes point after, and Contra Costa gets on the board. So here's the handoff here to Allen. Right over the right side, drops his pads and powers through for the first touchdown of the game. And that puts Comets on the board with 1:26 remaining in the third quarter, and the extra point fake field goal by Jalen Phelps. So the 2-point conversion was good. And so now Contra Costa is down 17-8 at home against the visiting Jaguars. 1:26 remaining in the third quarter. So after having the football pretty much the entire third quarter, Contra Costa was able to reach pay dirt for their first touchdown in 6 quarters. And so now they're right back in this football game. And let's see if their defense can make a play or either get a 3 and out to get their offense back on the field. There's the punt. There's the kick, rather. And he'll be dragged down. And he's actually on his feet, continuing to run. And there's a penalty, and there's a couple penalties. So some extracurricular activity going on. We'll see what these flags are. But the freshman, Keontae Bellamy, refused to go down. He kept his legs churning. Now let's see what Contra Costa is able to do defensively.
Foul. Face mask.
So we have a personal foul,
32.
face mask
Yard penalty will be added to the end of the run
against Stephen Harvey Jr. And so that 15 yards will be tacked on to the end of that play. And now San Jose City College will start just over the logo. They'll start this possession in Contra Costa's territory. Contra Costa's 48-yard line. 1:18 remaining as the officials continue to step off the penalty. Actually, is at the 44-yard line where the Jaguars will take over. 1:18 remaining in the third quarter. Jaguars with the lead, 17-8. Then Darrells under center, hands the ball off, and that's to Mills. And Mills handoff right up the gut. And that will be a short gain of only a couple. So 2nd down and 8. 41-yard line of Contra Costa. 50 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. This should be the last play of the quarter. Jaguars, Landeros in the gun, 3 receivers set. Mills to the left. Hands the ball off to Mills. He loses his footing, goes down at the 40-yard line, so it will be 3rd down and 6. From the 40-yard line of Contra Costa. Big play on this drive for the Comets defense. Let's see if the Comets can get their defense off the field with a 3 and out. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter.
The end of the 3rd quarter.
So Comets trail 17-8. 15 minutes remaining in regulation. We'll be back to San Pablo right after this. Welcome back to San Pablo Bay Area Sports TV. I'd like to welcome you for this telecast between the visiting Jaguars and the hometown Comets of Contra Costa. 3rd down and 7. 15 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. It's a design handoff run again for Landeros. Uses legs again and powers over for a 1st down. So when in doubt, Landeros has used his legs, these design runs, and he's been able to shed blockers all afternoon long. And that's another key 1st down for the Jaguars as they will continue this drive. So Landeros throughout this afternoon, since he came into the game for the injured quarterback Joseph Catano, has been able to use his legs all afternoon long, in particular on 3rd downs. And again, he allows Jaguars to continue to have the football and take time off the clock. I formation, 2 receivers set. Muhammad in motion, hands the ball off to Mills, and he will scamper over the left side for a gain of around 6. So it should be 2nd down and 4, deep in Contra Costa territory. They're in the red zone again. We're speaking of the Jaguars of San Jose City. 17-8, 13:40 remaining in the 4th quarter. Comets need a big stop here. So 2nd down and 6. Comets need a stop. Trailing by 9. Landeros back, chased out of pocket, and he will be dragged down, and the ball's on the ground, fumble. But the official calls, the referee, Steve Carter, says Landeros was down. So that reminded me of the play last week between the Raiders and Browns. But here's Landeros, gets away and looked like as though his knee was down. As though the ball was picked up by Jovan Sewell to no avail. It's a sack by Contra Costa. So their defense has played fairly well this afternoon. Now they're asking their defense for one more stop. 3rd down and 17. Contra Costa's 33-yard line. And there's a penalty flag on the field, so it looks as though it's going to be some sort of legal motion or false start. Delay of game.
That's number 12.
So the offense for
Remains third
the
down.
Jaguars are self-destructing here. So now they have a 3rd down and long. And Contra Costa, this bodes well for the Comets defense. If they can get a stop here, get their defense off the field, they had success last time they had it offensively. They can get down and score. They get right back in this football game with 12-20 remaining in the 4th quarter. 3 receivers set. Landeros hands the ball off and hand off to number 26. That's to Fred Wilson. And it looks as though the Jaguars are content to punt and play a game of field position here. They'll be sending out the punt team. So Contra Costa, barring a disaster, will have an opportunity to get the football back in their offense's hands and see if they can go down and score. A field goal would not be bad in this situation here because we're talking about a 9-point game. A touchdown will be ideal, but points on the board at this point is huge. So you can also look for a fake in this situation here because San Jose is kind of in no man's land, but they came out with an offensive formation to see what Contra Costa would do. Now they're back in the traditional punt formation. There's a punt, nice punt. And it will be downed at the 10-yard line. So Contra Costa will take over at the 10-yard line, trailing by 9. 11:05 remaining in the 4th quarter. Contra Costa trails 17-8. So again, both teams are looking to get off the schneid, so to speak, have their first win of the season. And in the case of Contra Costa, this will be the first win in 2 seasons. So this will be a great opportunity if they can rally up and get this win this afternoon. And this will be the final preseason game for them this season, or a non-conference opponent this season, as everything else will be inside of conference going forward. So this will be a great win if they can somehow pull this out. So Lee in the gun, 3 receivers set, fly sweep, and he will be dragged down for no gain. And that was to Jaden Key, going from right to left with the fly sweep. 2nd down and 10 at their own 9-yard line. And Riley Lee, frankly, needs to be careful here. You can't have any turnovers. They've had 2 bad turnovers down here before. A pick 6 by Lee and a fumble by Robinson. So they can't have that. And there's Robinson with delayed handoff over the left side. Nice gain. And it will be 3rd down. So Robinson from Stagg High School in Stockton, California, been fairly consistent this afternoon outside of the fumble. In the 2nd quarter has been pretty steady for Riley Lee and the Comets. 3 receivers set for Lee again. Lee back in the gun, steps up, throws it downfield, has a man, and he intercepted and dropped. So Davion Thomas had an opportunity for a pick, and that would have been a 3rd turnover for the day for Riley Lee. He had a couple of near misses all afternoon long. You see here, Lee drops back to pass and throws it downfield. The pass was intended to number 14, Kyrie Jackson, but led Jackson a little bit too much and could have been easily interception, but nonetheless it wasn't. So Contra Costa was able to avoid another turnover. That would have been their 5th turnover of the game. So double duty. Kyle Jarvis is back on the left-footed punt. There's a bad snap. Was able to get it off, but a bad punt by Jarvis takes the Contra Costa bounce, and it will go out of bounds around the 45-yard line of San Jose City. So San Jose City will take over. 9:39 remaining in the fourth quarter. 17-8 lead on the home team, Comets of Contra Costa. Beautiful afternoon here in Contra Costa. Contra Costa needs a stop. Defensively, the last offensive possession for the Jaguars, Contra Costa was able to get off the field, but offensively, they were not able to take advantage. Landeros under center again. Flips his tight end. Falcon to the right side. 3 receivers. Fly sweep inside to the freshman. That's Kurt Augustus. Short game. Augustus from Audrey Cale, Charlotte, North Carolina. 5'9", 170 pounds. Second down and long, the 45-yard line of Contra Costa. Landeros gets the instructions into the huddle. Landeros will walk up to the line of scrimmage, 3 receivers. Landeros under center. Quick screen again. Nice play design for the freshman Augustus, who came in as the leading receiver for the Jaguars. 8 receptions this season. Keontae Bellamy came in with the most receptions with 11. This Augustus came in with 8. Augustus had 2 touchdowns coming into the game, while Bellamy has not reached the end zone this season. Momon flanked to the bottom of the screen. Landeros to the line of scrimmage. Drops back. Pass out, completed to the freshman again. That's Augustus making his presence known. 9-yard gain, first down. And it looks as though a player is injured on the side. Contra Costa. So first down and 10 at the 39-yard line of Contra Costa. The Comets trail by 9. 8:02 remaining in the game. And at this point, I'm sure Coach for San Jose City is not in any rush to run any offense here. To Jim Wilkins, interim head coach at San Jose. That first down run went to no gain. That was Dante Mills on the carry. So Mills came in the game with 14 rushes for 53 yards and no touchdowns. We haven't seen that much of Fred Wilson, who had a prominent role in the first half. Averaged 4.2 yards per rush coming into the game. Also had 1 touchdown. He had 41 rushes for 174 yards. Tight end, 2 tight ends set. Landeros back, fakes the screen, and it was caught by Bellamy. So they faked a quick smoke screen, and they ran Bellamy behind it, and he was able to go up the ladder and make the catch. So there's a fake screen there. Throws to Bellamy. He goes up the ladder and makes the catch. Nice pitch and catch from Landeros to Bellamy. So third down and short. The Contra Costa's 30-yard line. 6 minutes remaining, 6:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Darrell's in the gun, 3 receiver set. Looks as though they're trying to draw him offside. Contra Costa was having none of that. Coach Wilkins decided to burn a timeout. Timeout on the field. Contra Costa trails by 9. Bay Area Sports TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to San Pablo on the campus of Contra Costa College. Bay Area Sports TV. My name is Joaquin Wallace. Contra Costa trails by 9. 6:09 remaining in the fourth quarter. 3rd down and short for the Jaguars as they're driving. They have an opportunity to take some more time off the clock. Contra Costa needs to come up big with a stop. Get their defense off the field as Landeros to Mills over the left side. He just plows over and looks as though that will be a first down for the Jaguars as they are staying ahead of the chains again. So that's another 2 to 3 minutes they can take off this clock, start wearing down that Comet defense. We've been on the field a long time this afternoon. As we mentioned earlier, both teams are coming into the game trying to get off the snide with the first win of the season. 5:46 remaining in regulation. Comets trail by 9 to the visiting Jaguars dressed in their white uniforms, purple helmets going left to right. Comets in their navy blue uniforms with their white helmets. First down and 10 at the 28-yard line. Landeros hands the ball off again to Mills, and he is just plowing through using his athleticism. That was a nice gain on first down, so it will be 2nd down and short. So Coach Wilkins is deciding to keep the ball on the ground here and force Contra Costa to stop the run game and use their timeouts. A warm day on the field as well, so I'm sure that fatigue is beginning to become a factor for the Comets of Contra Costa. 4:48 remaining in the fourth quarter, trailing by 9. Jaguars on the ball. Mamond in motion, hands the ball off to Mills again, and he will be dragged down as well, and it may be a late flag. A face mask may be called, and that will be on Anthony Franks if it is, and indeed it is a face mask. As you can see, Mills' head just jerk back. So that will be another automatic first down. And actually the call was on number 65. That's Yusef Bey. And the Comets will move the ball to the 10-yard line and will be 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Contra Costa trails by 9. 4:23 remaining in regulation. 17-8. Comets trail.
First and goal for 10.
There's a fake to fly sweep, and there is Mills again plowing through the middle. And that was a nice gain as well for Mills. Looks like that was a gain of 7 or 8, so it will be 2nd down and short. We have an injury on the field. We'll keep it here. But Contra Costa needs a big stop to have any opportunity to get back in this football game, have a chance to win this game. They cannot allow any type of score for the Jaguars. They're pretty much automatic from the field goal range, as we mentioned earlier. Had a 30-yarder by the freshman. He was able to capitalize on that. Contra Costa was able to score on Allen. He took it over the right side for a couple. And then they had a fake extra point as Jalen Phelps, the holder, rambles over the left side. He was able to get in for the 2-point conversion. And they gave Contra Costa their only points of game. That came at the 126 mark of the third quarter. That's been all the scoring for Contra Costa this afternoon. On the other hand, if you take a look at what the Jaguars was able to do, they was able to score 6:48 in the first quarter on a field goal by Lopez for 30 yards. And they came back with a pick six in the second quarter, 10-17 in the second quarter. Dylan Grant, pick six in the end zone. And then they came right back with a touchdown by Landeros, but it was a byproduct of a fumble by Robinson inside the 5-yard line. And Landeros was able to score with 21.7 seconds remaining in the second quarter, and then he went to halftime with a 17-0 lead. Contra Costa was able to come back late in the third quarter with their first score and 2-point conversion in 6 quarters, and that's where we're at with a 17-8 lead by the Jaguars of San Jose. It's Augustus in motion. That's Landeros again with one of those design runs over the left side. And he'll be dragged down for a short gain as well. So it will be 2nd and goal. As a 5-yard penalty was assessed to San Jose. So now it will be 2nd and goal. So as you recall, it was 1st and goal at the 10, then a penalty pushed them back 5 yards, and they came right back with a 1st and goal. And Landeros took it over the left side, was able to get 4 of those yards back. So now it is 2nd down and goal at the 11-yard line of Contra Costa. 3:07 remaining in the fourth quarter. Momond in motion. Landeros under the center. Option out to Mills over the right side, and Mills has one man to beat, drops his pads and drives down short of the end zone. A fumble on a play, but the official ruled that he was down by contact. So here's the option. There's Mills with the pitch. On the right side, drops his pads and was down, and the ball came out late. So it will be 3rd down and goal inside of the 1-yard line. And this is where Contra Costa needs to come up with a big play, a turnover, a penalty for San Jose. But a score here will make it a difficult challenge for the Comets to come back and try to get a victory this afternoon. Landeros hands the ball off to Mills, and that's a touchdown.
Mills from 1 yard out.
So Mills from 1 yard out, and that increases the lead to 23-7. And that's Mills. That's his first touchdown of the game. So Contra Costa falls behind 23-8 with 2:07 remaining in regulation. So Mills goes over the right side. That 3rd down and goal. From 1 yard out to 2:07 mark. And there's another penalty on the field. And that will be a legal procedure against the Jaguars. One of the only things they haven't done right this afternoon. They've pretty much been on point outside of an earlier turnover. They've been on point this afternoon. It looks as though they're going to come away and head on the 1-on-1 South with their first victory of the season in this non-conference matchup against the Comets of Contra Costa. So here's the extra point. Snap, fake kick. It's Landeros, and he would just go down. So it was a fake field goal. Landeros runs out the clock. Well, basically runs out, takes a knee, and pretty much that's how that goes. So it's 23-8. San Jose City College ahead of the home team, Contra Costa. And so next week, join us here at Contra Costa, Bay Area Sports TV. My name is Joaquin Wallace. We'll be here as De Anza College will be making its way over to Contra Costa for a conference matchup, an American Pacific 7 conference matchup between De Anza and Contra Costa here at 1 o'clock next Saturday, which will be the 13th. And hope things will turn out much better than this afternoon for the Comets. So 2:07 remaining in the fourth quarter. Jaguars are in the process of kicking off to the Comets. Back deep. Morrell Robinson is one safety back deep. The ball falls off the tee. If you're Coach Wilkins for the Jaguars, you have to be pleased. Last week, after being blanked 50-0, they came right back on the road again, 2 consecutive weekends, and they looks as though they're going to get their first victory of the season here. Kickoff was brought in by number 13, that's Quadri Wesley, and another flag on the field. 2:02 remaining in the game, fourth quarter. Comets trail 23-8 to the visiting Jaguars of San Jose City College. So Riley Lee, 3 interceptions today. Actually, 2 interceptions today, 5 for the year. Had a couple of near misses, one towards the end of the second half, and he just had one his last possession. The receiver underthrew, and no flag. The official picked up the flag. That could have been the 4th interception of the day for Riley Lee. So Lee in the gun, 3 receivers set, 5 receivers set. Empty backfield. Lee received a snap, quick screen to Jackson throws it downfield, and it was caught. A little razzle-dazzle. And that's Jackson received the pass and throws it downfield, and it was complete to Jaden Key. But then there's a penalty on the play as well, as you can see here. Lee to Jackson to Key. And we have a penalty flag on the play as well. So we'll get the officials to sort this penalty out. 23-8. The Comets trail at home. 1:56 remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll see what the officials would have to say in regards to this penalty. Again, as we mentioned, Contra Costa will be back home next week against De Anza. Bay Area Sports TV will be televising that game. Game begins at 1 p.m. My name is Joaquin Wallace, and I will be providing the play-by-play. Your executive producer will be Tim Banks for that game. Bay Area Sports TV. You can always catch it online as well. The replay on Bay Area Sports TV. If you go to YouTube, type in bayareasports.tv, YouTube, and you will be able to watch this game and other games televised by Bay Area Sports TV, as well as Bay Area Online Sports Network, a collaborative effort between the two. And you can see both those games. And again, they are on our YouTube channel, Bay Area TV.tv. YouTube, just type it in, and you get a chance to watch all of the games telecasted by Bay Area Sports TV. So it looks as though the penalty will be on Contra Costa. We're waiting for the official word from referee Steve Carter. So it was a holding against the Jaguars. So the penalties do offset. A player was ejected, it looks like. The referee's mic is not working, so we're not able to hear exactly what happened. But it appears a player was ejected as well. So it will be 1st and 10, 1:56 remaining in the game. Comets trail 23-8. So earlier in the game, when your starting quarterback Joseph Catano went down, typically you would be, if you're San Jose, I'm sure you say, oh, you know, what's going to happen here? You know, our starting quarterback is down. But lo and behold, they brought in the other freshman, George Landeros, and it was 3rd down and long, and they ran a quick screen to Keontae Bellamy early in the first quarter, and that set the tone for the remainder of the game. It looks as though he jump-started the offense. And since then, they've been able to ramble off these runs and passes by Landeros, been able to use his legs, and really hasn't done that much passing. But his whole effort has been able to run the football by using his legs, shedding blockers throughout. 3rd and long, Landeros has been able to come through and pay dividends, and he has been truly one of the linchpins in today's victory for the Jaguars to come up north, take the one-on-one north, 580, come up to Contra Costa, and was able to get that win. So it looks as though the penalty would be marked off for the ejection, a personal foul. Contra Costa will take over at their own 42-yard line, trailing 23-8, 1:56 remaining in regulation. 4 receivers set for Lee in the gun. Lee receives the snap, quick screen, and there's a tackle, and that was to Tyreek Owens, a quick screen for a short gain. 2nd down and 7 at the 45-yard line. 4 receivers set.
2nd and 7 will be 45.
Lee in the pocket, steps up, avoids the rush, throws it downfield. He has a man, and it is caught by Tyreek Owens. So Lee was able to step up in the pocket, and Owens was able to make a circus catch on the sideline. It's pushed out of bounds. You can see Lee steps up in the pocket and throws it downfield, and Owens kept his concentration over the defender.
43-yard completion, first down.
Tavion Baker for the first down. So 1st down and 10 at the 15-yard line, 1:24 remaining in the game. And there is a timeout on the field. And the timeout is for San Jose. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back to San Pablo right after this. Back on the campus of Contra Costa, first down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Comets trail 23-8. 1:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. Nice pitch and catch between Lee and Owens. Placed the ball at the 15-yard line for the Comets. Lee in the gun. 4 receiver set. Lee throws it in the end zone, and it will be caught by number 14, Kyrie Jackson. First touchdown of the game. Also a penalty on the field, but I'm sure that's going to be some sort of interference. So that was Lee to Kyrie Jackson. So you can see here, Lee in the gun was able to hit Jackson on a quick slant. Jackson goes up the ladder and makes the catch. First touchdown of the game for Kyrie Jackson. The 1:20 mark left in the game. That's the first touchdown as well for the freshman Riley Lee this season. So 23-14 now. Contra Costa trails. The officials now are sorting out that penalty. So the touchdown is good for Contra Costa. So it will be Contra Costa is going for 2. So as we suspicion a pass interference in the end zone, and Kyrie Jackson was able to go up and make that touchdown despite the interference in the end zone by the Jaguar defender. So here's the opportunity for a 2-point play. 4 receivers set. Lee steps up, voids the rush, and he will be brought down, sacked by number 50. And that's Anthony Rodriguez, another one of those freshmen from Mount Pleasant High School. So Contra Costa was able to score. 1:20 remaining in the game. And now the onside kick we know is coming at this point. So what you're hoping for in this situation is Contra Costa is able to score or get the onside, score, come back and score again as they're 2 scores down, trailing by 14. The 2-point conversion could have been huge in that situation there. That would trim the lead to 23-16. But now we have to have, we're speaking of Contra Costa, 2 scores in a matter of 1 minute and 20 seconds left. So I'm sure they're going to employ some sort of onside kick. And I would imagine the Jaguars are going to put their hands team in now, anticipating an onside kick. The Jaguars are able to recover. It's pretty much what set this game in motion. The Jaguars will walk out of here with a victory. But the Comets can take something away in this game as they was able to score a couple of touchdowns. Most points they've scored this season. And again, they came in the game with averaging 11.6 points a game. So they eclipsed their average at 14. And that's Riley Lee's first touchdown of the young season. That's well for the freshman. So as the officials march off the penalty, the onside kick will be in full motion here. And as you can see, the Jaguars has their hands team up, pretty much receivers and defensive backs, anticipating the onside. So Contra Costa was penalized unsportsmanlike conduct for spiking the football. So that pushed them back an additional 15 yards. There's a rugby-style kick, and the Jaguars was able to recover. And so it will be first down at Contra Costa's 30-yard line. I'm sure we'll see the victory formation here. And the Jaguars should walk out of here with their first victory of the season, improving their record to 1-4 overall, still 0-2 in conference, and the Comets will drop to 0-6 overall, 0-1 in conference. And their next conference matchup, again, as we mentioned, will be against De Anza here on Bay Area Sports TV next week, next Saturday at 1 p.m. And indeed, the Jaguars are in their victory formation, as that they will get their first victory of the season. So here's the first snap. It's down by Landeros, and you have to tip your hat to Landeros, who came off the bench and did an outstanding job to help the Jaguars get their first victory. A timeout on the field for the Contra Costa. This is their third and final timeout. 1:14 remaining. Down by 12. I'm sorry, down by 9. Contra Costa is, with 1:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. So if you had to look at the player of the game, I would have to say it has to be the quarterback, George Landeros, who came out of nowhere. Starting quarterback Joseph Cantano, who was injured early in the first quarter. And Landeros came in and done a stellar job by guiding the Jaguars to their first victory of the season. There's a second down. Nothing that Contra Costa can do at this point, as they have no timeouts remaining. And so I'm sure that the Jaguars will just take 2 more kneels and walk out of here with their first victory of the season. Contra Costa has to build on this moment. They showed some good things this afternoon. Defensively, they played a lot better as they came into the season, giving up quite a few points overall. But tonight, or this afternoon, they only given up 23 points. So that's something to build upon if you're the coaching staff for Contra Costa. And also you have Riley Lee, who's still a freshman, still learning, as the Gatorade is dropped on the head coach, Wilkins, interim head coach for San Jose City, for their first victory of the season. As teams are walking off, shaking hands at this point, Contra Costa knows that this game is over, and San Jose is celebrating on their end as well. So we'd like to thank you for joining Bay Area Sports TV. My name is Joaquin Wallace. Executive producer Tim Banks. Contra Costa 14. Jaguars 23. We'll see you next week again for a conference matchup between the Comets against the visiting De Anza next week. Contra Costa loses. We'd like to thank Contra Costa Culinary Arts Department. Also, as I mentioned, our director and camera operator, Tim Banks. And again, my name is Joaquin Wallace. We'll see you next week. Contra Costa loses 14-23.